Thanks for joining us. I'm Paula Ebben with the WBZ News Update. Top stories today. FBI agents conducting an investigation at 2 locations in Peabody and Salem connected to the owner of a doll shop called Cat's Creepy Creations. According to the Instagram page for the business, the shop makes creepy-looking dolls, oddities, and bone art. The FBI confirms that they were there at both locations conducting law enforcement activity related to a federal investigation, but they won't elaborate. The FBI tells us they cannot comment to protect the integrity of the investigation, but they say there is no threat to the public safety. The Leominster man accused of attacking a flight attendant on board a flight from LA to Boston is expected in federal court tomorrow. WBZ's been looking into his background. We've learned he has a history of violence. Court documents show in 2015, Francisco Torres was accused of threatening a clerk at a Fitchburg convenience store. 2 years later, he was accused of assaulting his mother. Both cases were dismissed, and Torres was referred for mental health treatment. Investigators say on Sunday, Torres tried to open the emergency door midair on the United flight and stabbed a flight attendant with a broken-off spoon. If convicted, he could face life in prison. WBZ and CBS News Boston have been showing you the staffing shortages at our local police departments. We have new information now on how dire the situation has grown in New Bedford. In the last week, the New Bedford Police Department says it has lost a total of 15 officers to other departments, leaving about 200 empty positions on the force. Officials say staffing levels are dangerously low right now. Last month, the mayor and the police chief announced a $5,000 signing bonus for new police officers. Also facing staffing shortages, Concord, New Hampshire men's prison. 18 members of the National Guard will have to be deployed to assist with that shortage later this month, including 12 airmen and 6 Army National Guardsmen. They'll assist with internal correctional control tower procedures for about 90 days. And the National Guard says they will have no direct contact with prisoners. It's a little bit cloudy out there today and cool. Let's get a check of the forecast with meteorologist Zack.
Chilly way to go through the middle of the week, but in typical March standards. Always seems to be one of the breeziest months of the entire year. We try to rival that in April as well. But as of now, you see 41 degrees in Boston, 42 in Norwood, there in New Bedford, as well as Martha's Vineyard. 31 right now in Keene, the relative cool spot. We haven't introduced the wind. That is anywhere from 10 to 25 miles per hour, nearly 30 miles per hour on Nantucket. If you're thinking of taking the ferries, it's going to be a rocky ride, very choppy between Cape Cod as well as Martha's Vineyard Sound. 22 miles per hour in Provincetown, just between about 10 and 17 over in Worcester County, and that's where you guys are landing into the low 20s. And we'll rival that for most on the eastern side of the state too. Just 19 degrees for a wind chill value in Keene, and this is going to be the scenario for most of the afternoon. Initially, there was a little brush of flurries, just novelty flakes just kind of flying around the greater Boston area as well as the North Shore. Really started to dissolve once it got closer to 495 in Worcester County. But when we broaden the map out, we actually still see that northerly trajectory. So we're going to drag down a few more chances as we go close to the water this afternoon and once again for tomorrow. And the highs between Wednesday and Thursday, not much of a difference. Low to mid 40s officially, but the difference between today and tomorrow, calmer winds come Thursday afternoon. That's going to allow us to actually feel like the mid 40s rather than the low 20s that we have in some areas as we currently stand. So things should be generally improving over the next few afternoons. And I think really looking forward to Friday and what that has to offer. Winds completely die down. Sunshine breaks out mid to upper 40s. Some areas eclipsing 50 degrees. So a great way to take in the blue sky, and your Friday evening plans are doing just fine as well. A lot of conversation on the upcoming weekend, and I know there's a system that's going to be sliding in our direction, but I do want it to hold off and kind of slide towards the south at this point. It will be developing towards the Ohio River Valley, so it's going to take some time and ultimately strengthen, giving a good dose of snow out through the Great Lakes as well as the upper Midwest. Think about the UP of Michigan starting to see some of the higher totals, but this is going to continuously slide off to our south, so more of a mid-Atlantic scenario, maybe just about as far north as Long Island, and may do enough to graze over into the south coast, but otherwise I really don't think it's much of a hassle for us with that system. So the weekend as a whole, not all that bad. Likely the colder of the two on Saturday. Sunday's going to give us a chance of some sunshine in the second half of the day, and with the stronger sun angle, things should be shaping up accordingly. So if you're thinking about hitting the slopes, not exactly bluebird days ahead of us. If you're hoping for all sunshine, Friday's going to be your best bet as we'll cloud things over with that residual system off to our south. But making our way into Sunday, officially kicking off daylight saving time. And then after that point, we may have another touch of winter. Not a lot going on there, but there's a chance of some snow to come along with rain as we move into Monday and Tuesday. Still a ways away from kind of narrowing down exactly how that's going to play out, but you notice where the temperatures are in the low 40s, so less of a snow effect, probably more white than wet, or wet rather than white.
Thanks, Zach. I'm Paula Ebben. This has been a WBZ News Update.